No countdown. Okay.
Just live.
I'm thinking of a premiere. No countdowns. Welcome, everybody.
Going in head first.
Well, that we were talking about when we were on with Patrick, the one stream we did together, I kind of overthought, and then the other one was almost like spur of the moment. That one went a lot smoother. So that's kind of the way I should approach these things, really.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
so pretty much somewhere in the middle. I've got just a few notes, and we do have a video we're talking about today. It was an AVA pop culture video called "Why Streaming Ruin Halloween as We Know It." I'm going to repeat that again, though, because we're going to let some people come in. Yep. But anyway, I'm Mr. Dan, of course, and my special guests today are the Newlydeads. And not only is Halloween coming up, but their anniversary is coming up, too.
It is.
They're one and the same.
Very good, yes.
Yeah. And like the funny thing is, we were just talking before we went live, folks, about like how my granddaughters know like most of the Universal monsters and stuff. And they got it all from me, of course. My daughter their mom is a big scaredy cat, like the biggest scaredy cat like that's ever been scared. There were episodes of Leave It to Beaver that were literally too intense for her.
Whoa.
Like when Wally got mad at Eddie Haskell and was going to like punch him out, she had to like leave the room.
Wow.
So she was like, so she's kind of mystified by all of this, everything in here. So she was like, "What are you doing tonight? Who are you talking to tonight?" And I was like, "I'm talking to Newlydeads, Joel and Laura. They actually got married on Halloween." What do you think her first question was? Are they
spooky?
Yeah. So she's like, "Are they part of a satanic cult?" I was like,
"Oh
no." That's a leap. That's quite a leap.
That is a very big leap. You can tell her, no, we're not. 100%. We're not part of satanic cult.
Yeah, but she did participate in Halloween, so we did have fun growing up.
That's something.
I'm gonna have to. I've got a picture somewhere in a one of my picture albums of me in a homemade Dr. Octopus costume. It's
nice.
It's priceless. I got to see if I can find that and put that on Instagram.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And
there's nothing beats a good homemade costume.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's like when I was first started podcasting, I did a show and I ended up with a chicken suit, and I had this chicken suit. I still have this chicken suit.
I was gonna say it's downstairs.
It's downstairs, yeah, with the costumes. And my kids, wanted me to dress up in this chicken suit every year. So at some point, I had bought a Doctor Who outfit, and I was like, So I combined the two, and I made Collector Who. So you just never know what you're going to come up with, and sometimes necessity is a mother of invention, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like the one year, we had a great spontaneous night before Halloween where I made a costume because that's back when I was substitute teaching. So I found out the night before. You would constantly check the website and see if there was an opening, and a lot of teachers they didn't like Halloween. They were like, I'll just be absent that day. So I pounced on it, especially if it was a good school. So I sort of just whipped up a costume, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But it was a very cool, like sort of spontaneous thing that just happened the night before Halloween, and I think we're kind of, it'd be nice to sort of get back to those days. Like I've tried to do a couple activities with my granddaughters, and if they're not feeling it, they're not feeling it. I tried to do something. Yeah, I tried to do something with paint. I was going to actually paint some bottles and then scrape the paint to make a jack-o'-lantern face and then fill the bottle up with, colored liquid or something. The paint wasn't sticking to the bottle and it got everywhere. And, so we just table that for another day.
But, and then you never do it.
Right. Might. But, anyway, Anthony's here in the chat. How are you, buddy? Doing?
Hi, Anthony.
Up to 2016 in my memoirs. Awesome, dude. Thanks a lot. Thanks for commenting on all my videos. Speaking of videos, what do you guys have? Well, let me just say real quick. I've been trying to get a video every day this month. I'm probably going to slow down a little bit. Saturday night, I'll be on with the Horror Cat Dad. So I'm going to throw that up a little bit later. But could you guys tell me, just remind us where we can find you? What do you guys, what kind of platforms you're on?
Well, first of all, I've been watching every one of your videos, and it's nice to see it on a daily basis. Um, so we have our main website, which is thenewlydeads.com, which is probably the best place to find everything that we do, because we do a lot of different things. But primarily, our content is on YouTube, which you put the link in the chat there, which is you just look up the Newlydeads. But every Tuesday is unboxing videos. Every Friday we do our classic episodes of Dollar Store Drive-In, which is our half-hour chat show where we find a movie somewhere out in the wild, and then we talk about it. Usually it's something that's of questionable quality, typically horror, thriller, sci-fi. And then we also have our Sinister Snack videos. Now, the new episodes of Dollar Store Drive-In stream every week on 4 different horror networks: The Vortex, Other Worlds TV, Tingler Television, and the Monster Channel. And so you can find those there during the week. I also write a blog, which that's kind of taken a back seat for a little bit. We convert our show into a podcast. And then we're also artists, and we do markets where we sell our physical artwork as well. So do a little bit of everything.
Yep.
Wow, cool. And you guys, you've already had a show this October, at least one, right?
Yeah. On the 4th, we did the 5th annual Witches Market, which is sponsored by Wolf Hollow, which is a local oddities and curiosities gift shop, is what they list themselves as. But our friends Randy and Liz Wolf are the owners, and they that's where we took our engagement photos, and they kind of are the ones that kind of gave us the push to start the Newlydeads. And so we've been a part of their market for the last 3 years. And the very first year that we started, which was their second year, we just participated in their annual Witches Dance, which was a lot of fun.
We were sweepers.
Yeah.
We just like swept the way for the little witches to come out and do their little fun dance.
Yeah, so we got all the people out of the way so they could do their dance in the middle of everybody.
Yeah.
Did you have actual brooms or?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Clever.
Clearing the energy and clearing the path. It was fun.
And you guys on your channel, you had a series of videos called The Story of Us, and you had some pictures, I think, or maybe that was also on the website of your wedding photos and things.
Yep.
At the farm. Now, is this, by the way, I'm sorry, I forget. Everything west of Ohio is as far as YouTubers, I forget who lives where. Are you guys in Illinois?
Yes.
Yeah, we're in Rockford, Illinois. We're in about an hour and a half north of Chicago, just about 10 minutes from the Wisconsin border.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have you ever driven by a sign for Rockford when REM's Don't Go Back to Rockford was playing?
No, but we hear a lot of Cheap Chick around here.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that happened to me. It was Rockford, Pennsylvania, though.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I swear it was perfect timing. We were driving, and you said, "Don't go back to Rockford," and there was a sign that said Rockford, and I just looked at the person I was driving with, like, it was a little weird.
That's an omen.
That's timing. That's
so we didn't go. We didn't go there. Sure.
I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, and I was 1 block over from the Kansas state line, so I could literally spit into Kansas from Missouri. And a similar thing happened. I was driving across state line to go into Kansas because most of my stuff I did was in Kansas. And on the radio, it was one of those, morning shows, and it said, "I don't think we're in Kansas anymore." And I'm like, it's going the wrong way, but I'll let it fly.
Right. That's pretty cool. Yeah, definitely. And Mayanne is here. I actually sent Mayanne a message. Good evening, Mr. Dan and guest. Hello, chat. You check out Cinderella. That's Mayanne's channel. She's a collector of all things Chucky.
Love it.
Yeah, she's got all kinds of cool stuff, like some of the off the beaten track stuff, just all kinds of cool stuff. And she's a great presence in the community, always in the comments, and a great mom too, by the way. But she is. But now, and you guys, you had like a small business blog, right?
Yeah. It's been a while since I've done the small business blog. People are busy, so a lot of times I don't get bites on it. But yeah, there was for a while I was interviewing like local businesses and small businesses, not necessarily in Rockford, but like the surrounding area. I think I had somebody actually from like Oregon.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah.
Unearthing small business.
Unearthing small business is what
okay.
Yeah.
We're all about grassroots. We like to, promote other, content creators and small, like we have our own small business,
right,
and give them, a platform.
Yeah. I still kind of do a form of it in my day job. I work at a like a botanical garden in Wisconsin, so I've been interviewing artists and stuff for my day job. So I feel like I'm still continuing it, but in a different manner.
Yeah. Okay. I have not been to Illinois. I have been to Wisconsin though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where have you been at? Where have you been at in Wisconsin?
It was Fort McCoy for 2 weeks.
Oh, I don't even know.
Or maybe a week. It was a Army National Guard thing that I had to do.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think the closest town was Sparta. Does that sound familiar?
Okay. Yeah, that must be like probably like is it northern Wisconsin?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
We're like by southern Wisconsin.
Right.
So we know a lot of southern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Madison is like not that far from us. Like
okay.
Yeah, about an hour. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it occurs to me for artists like yourselves and people who are really into like Halloween and this time of year, this is like the key time of year to be like a small business, right? I mean, the same way like a retailer will make like 60% of their money in, Christmas time. For some niche artists, this is the time.
For sure.
Is like, are you busier than usual or less busy or about the same?
It's definitely busier with that between that and we've done the Krampus market several years in a row, and that's another time because especially in this area we've got a pretty big artistic community and a lot of people that are into kind of the spooky side of life, right. And so that's always a big time too, designing like Christmas ornaments and things like that are kind of horror themed. Creepmas,
yeah. I think that's great too because of Krampus, the movie, the popularity of the character. There's been some wild drunken incidents that we've read about in the papers, but overall it's been like a great way for creepy people to keep it going in December.
Oh yeah. And in Halloween, because like it just keeps going, it's not just Halloween, it's Halloween, and then you've got Springoween and Summerween, and like it just keeps going.
But no Arbor Day.
No.
My kids though sometimes I think wish that we would kind of separate them a little bit. So like, can't we just have Christmas? And we're like,
no.
Yeah, I've got my my Universal Monsters Christmas ornaments. I've got my own special tree that's for this room that has the creepy stuff. Like you cannot see anything. But I've got pumpkin lights and eyeball.
I see it. Oh yeah.
I've got all eyeball lights behind me, so the eyeball lights go on the tree and everything. But now I have seen you guys on Tingler Television. I have a shirt. Lately, I've been kind of into the Vortex. I think they've got some really good hosts on there. And a lot of people have been really friendly in the chat. And I like Lord Blood Raw. He's got a really good channel, website, old radio shows and everything. But most of those shows, like it seems like in the daytime, they're just they're running movies, and it's like later at night, 8 o'clock or so, when someone from the channel will come on and moderate the chat. Because I know we were watching one of those Killer Bee movies, and I will never get the titles right. One of the ones with Michael Parks.
There's the bees, and then there's the swarm. I think it was the bees.
The bee. Okay. See, I thought there was a Deadly Bees and a Savage Bees, and one was the sequel. Okay.
Oh, I'm not sure about that, but I think there's another. The Swarm also, I think, is another.
Oh yeah, one. The Swarm. Yeah, it wasn't the Swarm, but we were chit chatting in the comments for all and everything. Was there a time when you guys were like actually hosting a whole movie, or were you just in the comments?
I was just in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've only talked about the movies after the fact. Because we don't get stuff that's public domain, so plus that's a lot more editing and a lot more that goes into it, and we've got enough going on. It's hard enough to keep.
Right. I was going to say, please, if you ever thought about doing that, you guys would be great at it. Hosting the, being like a horror host and watching one of the public domain movies. Yeah, it would.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, but that was my one question, because there's so many platforms, and I kind of forgot whether or not you were doing that at that time or not. But yeah, it is fun to just chit chat in those comment sections. Man says, you know all the movies. Ha ha ha. Yeah, well, I know. I'm a lot older than you, man, so I've seen a lot of movies. And of course, this month I'm really kind of reaching for some obscure ones. So it's not surprising that, I'm going out of my way to get some obscure ones on the channel.
I love all the coverage of the Mr. Vampire stuff so far.
This has got to be one of the best releases I've ever bought. I forget how much it was, but 17 movies.
Wow.
The Lam Ching Ying Vampire Movie Collection. There's 17 of them on there. He's in 16 out of 17 of them. I'm down to, I've got 3 left I haven't watched yet.
You've been busy.
I've been pretty busy. I started in September. A few of them I had seen 1 or 2 of them before. We got Encounters of the Spooky Kind 2 on VHS from an Asian grocery store a long time ago, like it's over 20 years ago. And that was my introduction to this whole Hong Kong ghost vampire genre. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, I had never seen anything like it. And that movie, on this one, they have the first one and the second one. They're both top notch. They're almost like Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. You know, like the funny parts are funny, the scary parts are scary.
Right.
Yeah.
It really do it right. So I would highly recommend that film, Encounters of the Spooky Kind.
Well, I got to tell you that I drew my first Chinese vampire when I did my big monster montage of monsters art piece, and I drew it with the piece of paper on the forehead, and I didn't know what that was until you explained it in one of your videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's why that's there. I just found a picture and I was using it as a reference, and I was like, right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. This yellow piece of paper.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they, I've seen a lot of the movies will tweak that. Like one movie, there's 2 ghosts looking at a bowl of chicken wings or something. And the one just makes one appear. And then one of the Taoist priests puts a little mini piece of paper on the other chicken wing, and the ghost can't get it.
That's funny.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. And Rob's Vintage Video is here. Hey, Rob, how are you? So anyway, let's get into it. So we watched a video called Why Streaming Ruined Halloween as We Know It. It was on the AVA Pop Culture channel. And essentially he talked about how, back in the old days, there was 3, maybe 5 channels. Let's face it, 3 of them, probably like 2 of them had good Halloween stuff you wanted to watch on any given night.
Right.
You were deciding between 2, maybe 3. I don't, PBS was probably showing like Rashomon or something,
The one bird.
For another day, but yeah. And like every, schools used to decorate at the same time. There was like what he called in the video, monoculture. Everybody kind of was on the same page. The decorations went up around the same time. Everybody sort of went trick-or-treating together. It was like a shared experience. There was an excitement factor about it. And then the contention of the video was that streaming is part of the reason that doesn't happen anymore, at least as far as the viewing experience, because there's just so much to watch and we just don't have the shared experience anymore. Do you guys remember any like particular nights like where something really good was on Halloween night or just in the month of October? Any favorite like specials or anything?
I just remember that of course the Charlie Brown Halloween special was always a thing. It's a Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown was always a big thing. The commercials, of course, and then my favorite horror host is Cremation Mortem, who is out of Kansas City. She's on channel 41. That's a UHF station, and she would always show monster movies and host them, and usually around Halloween she'd do something special for that. So that was always the stuff I look forward to personally.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I didn't really watch a whole lot of TV and movies. Like, I didn't start watching movies until, my favorite movie was Beetlejuice, and I think I saw that when I was like 10 or 11, maybe. Mm-hmm. And like before that, I don't really remember. My parents really didn't take us like to movies. We didn't really watch a whole lot of TV and stuff like that. I watched like Saturday morning cartoons and things like that. But like, I don't really know. I saw Nightmare on Elm Street when I was like 9. So I remember that. But yeah, I don't think that was on TV. I think we rented it, So yeah, I'm not one to say like streaming services and like that kind of thing. I don't know. Did you agree with him? Do you agree with him that streaming's taken it? Yeah.
To a degree. I mean, it really, the fact that if you knew something was on and that you missed it, I mean, if you missed it, you missed it. I remember even back in the day, like I don't know, Joel, if your parents did this, but if it was like thundering out, they'd be like, turn off the TV, you'll get electrocuted. So, I mean, I think I missed the finale of this Dukes of Hazzard season once because of that. And it just,
funny.
It hurt my soul because, because I was like 9 years old. You know what I mean?
Did they make the jump across the ravine?
They probably did. I'm guessing they did. I don't know. Maybe
that was the episode where Uncle Jesse died. That was a thing.
Right. Yeah. I wonder if they ever had a Halloween episode. I don't remember one, but
probably.
When she was mentioning what she was talking about, though, I do remember that getting excited for the animated stuff that would be out. Like if the cartoons that you'd watch would have specifically Halloween themed episodes, and that was always a good time because you got monsters and you always hope for something kind of fun or creepy.
Yeah, I always waited for like the serials to come out, things like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess that's also kind of a shared experience. It's you're waiting for something to come out, and then it does, and then yay, and I didn't get to the store to get it, so then you missed it, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. And Brian is in the chat real quick and ready. He's saying hello to everyone. He's doing the top 3 Thursdays with us. So
awesome.
today was top 3 horror prequels.
Yeah.
So, and next week probably will have something to do with Halloween, but it's actually not really a secret. But so that whole series has been a lot of fun. I remember there was one night they were showing a Godzilla movie. And I was like torn. I was like, am I gonna have to cut trick or treating early? This Godzilla movie. I think it might have started at 8 or maybe even 9. I'm guessing 8. And I guess probably back in the day I would have been out to maybe 9, maybe 8:30. This is back in the I was pretty young. And of all the Godzilla movies, it was Son of Godzilla.
Oh,
which has a lot of goofy parts. You know what I mean? And I've actually I've actually come to appreciate it over the years.
Oh, yeah.
But at the time, I was like, I came back for trick-or-treating for this.
Why couldn't it be like Godzilla versus Biollante or something,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, back then it probably would have been like Smog Monster, Mechagodzilla, This is actually pre-Biollante days. This is way back.
Oh, yeah.
At least I think it was, I'm guessing it was, but
I need my kid to find out for sure. He's a Godzilla expert.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't disagree with the kind of the contention that kind of the idea of the monoculture, because it's true. When we were younger, there was the 3 main stations and the 2 UHF stations, and you didn't have all the streaming, and you didn't have a lot of the stuff that they have now to kind of distract you from what was going on. It was a shared event, but I feel like it is a little bit of a hot take to blame it all on streaming, because I know my kids went trick-or-treating on Halloween, and there still are. We get tons of kids that come to our door every year. The schools still decorate. I still feel like there is that community. I'm granted, you get trunk or treat and things like that now, but I felt like it was maybe a little bit extreme with his worldview, but I don't know where he's at. Maybe it's different.
Yeah.
In his part of the country. Yeah.
Well, he showed that montage of people who had decorated and had candy. And I have actually seen that same montage by itself in other videos of people going, where are the trick-or-treaters, so it can be kind of disappointing, when it happens. Well, that's good. So you guys still get a good crowd?
Well, it depends. I mean, so we've only been together for,
7
married,
years.
Married for 5, and so up until just recently, his neighborhood was pretty bare. Like he didn't have many houses. So they've been building houses now. And so, yeah, this year I'm expecting it to be like it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely ramped up every year as they've started to build up the area.
Yeah.
Because when I first moved here, we were the only house on this part of the block. So we might get one or two. It was pretty bare. So we would usually, go to a friend's house or a family member's house for the holiday. But now we're starting to see, quite a few.
I feel like there's and this was like this when I was a kid too. I feel like there's neighborhoods that have the good candy, have the fun stuff, like the people that go all out, right? And it's still like that here in Rockford. There's like a neighborhood where there's just like a ton of kids and a ton of houses that just go all out for it. Churchill's Grove, like people drive to those neighborhoods and drop their kid off at the one end and they pick them up on the other end. And so that's where all the kids are going, I feel like. And it's always been like that when we were little, even, we knew that there were some houses that didn't have their lights on and, so we just avoided that area. And unfortunately, I feel like sometimes people that are spooky get like stuck in that neighborhood where it's not so, trick or treatery.
Yeah. The sort of the local geography is like that because we're kind of in a separate kind of part of town. There's a somewhat busy road, just a couple of doors down from me, so younger kids aren't going to be crossing that without their parents.
Yep.
One year around the block, like 3 houses got together and made some massive display with loudspeakers. They had people wearing like hospital gowns that were splattered with blood. They had people on stretchers. It was crazy. But then the drop-off was so severe. That's what I didn't get. Like the next year, I took my son and his friend around, and nobody was answering the door. Even people that had decorations. It was just like a colossal waste of time.
Yeah,
it was
always
weird.
depends on it depends on the time of like when Halloween falls too. I feel like sometimes, since it's our anniversary, like you'd think we'd be like the crazy people on the block that has all the things outside and all that kind of stuff. But like October is really like a time for us to kind of just reflect and like, it's a loving time for us. So like we're going to go on like a little trip for a couple days and we're actually coming back on Halloween. We'll pass out candy, but we don't go crazy outside or anything. I feel like, there's spooky people. There's people who like to decorate outside. There's like, you've got like genres of spookiness, inside, there's monster people. There's people who, like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, the thing is like this year, I'm actually going to Philadelphia because my granddaughters have their parade, and then their whole little neighborhood participates and has almost like sort of a block party. The kids go around.
That's fun.
Trick or treat. It's kind of an insular kind of little community. Yeah, so I missed it last year. I was like, I got to stay here and hand out the candy, and but I got my granddaughter, so yeah, I had to balance it out, like which is more important,
That's what I was going with that. Like, not everybody's home, like sometimes you're going. My mom and dad, like they live in a gated community, so like their Halloween day is always like on a different day. It's always like the Sunday before Halloween, which is really weird. So they always come here on Halloween. So, I feel like people they travel, they go to other people's houses. Like,
well, and
if you're a single parent and you've got kids, you're not going to be handing out candy, at your own house. So then like that also creates like a little bit of a void, And
yeah. We used to have to do that thing. Sometimes my wife would be at work. I know we had a really good year. It's the same year I made that impromptu costume, which I'll get to in a minute. But then that night, she got done early, so she met us as we were going around the block. And I think that was that really good year where they had that crazy display. But we just lucked out. Because, if I was home alone, it's like, well, I'm at the door for a while, but then I got to leave. So you put the bowl of candy out, and hopefully it's, it's in one piece when you come back.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of thing. Do you guys remember any nutty, crazy houses that did anything special when you guys were growing up?
Yeah, well, like, the gated community where I lived, there was always a house that had just like everything decorated on the outside. And the guy was like a bigwig at Coca-Cola. So like he would pass out like full-size candy bars and like a silver dollar. So like every kid got a silver dollar plus, yeah. So you knew that was like the right place to go.
Oh yeah.
I know. And then there was a house that was in I grew up in Belvedere, Illinois too. So there was a house there that always decorated their outside with the Wizard of Oz. So they had like a flying witch and like the whole 9 yards, plus like a Frankenstein that was like on a bed with like electricity like hooked up to him, and he'd sit up, and like it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember any specific houses. I just remember that we used to always try and figure out where the best places were to get the most candy. And we eventually, as we got older, found out that there was a rather affluent neighborhood, that there were a lot of big houses, and we found out that they all gave out full-size bars. And so we started going down there and realized that one of the houses was George Brett's when he came to the door to hand out candy to us. Which, that was a lot of fun, but it seemed like everybody always had kind of cool decorations, the places we went anyway. But especially when my kids were little, the scarier the decorations were, the less likely they were to go up and ask for candy.
Okay. Right.
And something that we run into up here that I wanted to mention before is that because we're in northern Illinois, sometimes it snows on Halloween, and there's nothing worse than wearing a full size, like zipped up coat and a hat over your costume when you're going out trick or treating.
Yeah.
That never occurred to me. I always forget to go to the library and get the Seinfeld Halloween book out.
Oh yeah.
And in my library, it's weird because I asked once. I was like, "I know you have this book. Where is it?" She said, "I'm not sure why. It's in the biography section, not with the kids section." So, because I think my oldest, the 5-year-old granddaughter will sort of appreciate it. She won't get the 70s references about the plastic mask cutting it, the rubber band cutting the eyeballs.
Right.
But that's a fun story as far as getting the candy and everything. Wait a minute. So did George Brett didn't hand out Big League Chew? I mean,
I don't remember specifically what they had. I just remember they had full-size bars in this. It was Mission Hills, Kansas, and they were all the big houses on the hill, and so you'd have to go to the gate to you couldn't go up to the door, but they'd come down and hand out candy at the gate, and one of the houses was his.
Yeah. That would be funny if you saw like kids walking around with like big blot of
Big League Chew.
Like every kid had a Big League Chew around here. Oh man, yeah. I remember even with my older son, we lived in another part of town. There was a couple that had like bowls of I don't know what they had spaghetti and they had some other things. I don't know if they put a blindfold on you, but you had to feel, and it was supposed to be like brains and this and
Peeled grapes. Yeah, feels like eyeballs.
Yeah. Really then there was always like some old lady that lived down the street that knew your parents that would invite you in and try to guess who you were.
Yeah.
that was always like a little creepy. It was like, can we get the candy and go?
that sounds like the movie that we're reviewing for next week's show.
It totally
is Halloween at Aunt Ethel's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, look for that one.
I started to watch one on Tubi. It was a grown man that came to trick or treat at some guy's house, and they had a confrontation. The guy was just handing out like handfuls of candy corn, too. Like, but then the next 20 minutes, it didn't have it much to do with Halloween. I was like, "What's going on with this movie?" I can't even remember what it was called, but it
was that good.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. And Hobbs Horror is in the chat. Sad day for metal.
Yeah.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah, definitely. Hello, my friends. Meet again. Sad day for metal. Yeah. Well, that was. You want to talk about a TV special that was disappointing? Kiss and the Phantom of the Park.
Yep.
We were as excited about that as anything that was coming on Halloween or anything like that. And then the next day at school, it was like, what the heck was that?
Right.
But happened. Yeah, it was a movie that happened with dubbing and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Wasn't Paul Williams in that? Am I misremembering? I feel like Paul Williams was in that.
if probably it was the 70s. Right, exactly. It was his time to be in everything,
Right.
Yeah, man. Hobbs says happy spooky month. Yeah, Hobbs is a huge Halloween fan. He does something called the Spooktacular. They have something on Thursday nights called the Midnight Hour. Hobbs, let me know if you guys are doing that tonight. I think you guys usually start at 10:15. And if so, what movie are you guys going to be watching? If you're watching a movie, let us know so we can tune in. I try to tune in the beginning of every one and at least say hello. But my gosh, half the time I just fall asleep. They did Little Monsters a while ago, and I was like, all right, I've never seen this. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to watch the whole movie. Just like in the old days, you stay up a little bit late.
Right.
Which is like a movie that starts at 10:15 is late. That's pretty sad.
It is late.
Yeah. Well, I'm usually at the gym at 5 a.m. So that's wow. I'm a nut. But, I made it about half hour, and I was out, unfortunately. Yeah. So, yeah, like as far as the trick-or-treating, I don't know. I mean, I think we are where we're at. There's going to be trunk-or-treats. We've got a firehouse up the street. They do a thing for younger kids.
That's cool.
And, I guess it's really probably will depend on neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Time of year, whether or not you don't get snow.
Right.
The day of the week, even.
Yes. Well, and I know this guy, that on the video was talking about, taking away from the shared experience, but like, I don't feel like there's any like love lost at all in the shared experience for Halloween because like it starts in July with like Code Orange, and we see our spooky friends out all the time. And like we'll run into them, like if we're like looking at Home Goods or whatever at the new like stuff that they've got out, and I don't feel like there's any missed shared experience at all. If anything, I feel like it's gotten bigger.
I mean, there definitely is a more. I mean, everything nowadays is very niche, and so everybody wants to belong to a little small pigeonholed group of people, and so the Halloween people. Have a pretty large group, and she's right. I mean, we'll start looking out in June or July, and we'll start to see stuff, and we'll start to see our friends out lurking around looking for the same stuff. And especially with online, Facebook groups or web pages or YouTube channels, things like that. I mean, you can celebrate all year round. I mean, you don't have the shared experience of like, oh, hey, there's going to be showing Halloween tonight, the TV version, and you got to wait to watch it. You can just put it on whenever you want, but you've got I mean, even like the Joe Bob Briggs community, you've got this community of people that love the same kind of stuff, and so you can be spooky all year round, which is what we do.
Well, and there's like a lot of Fathom events that have been going on lately, so like actually this is a good example of this like missed opportunity, right? Like Trick or Treat, the movie, the one that was 2007, right? Isn't that when it came out?
2006.
Yeah, that was just in the theater, and all of our friends went, and we didn't get to go. And so I do feel like I kind of like missed out on that shared experience that a bunch of people had, by seeing it back in the theater again. So yeah, I don't know. There's opportunities still there.
Although it was airing tonight, and we opted to spend time with you, just so you know.
Yes.
Oh wow, thank you.
2 showings, and this is the second one was tonight.
But we did go see The Devil's Rejects, so
yeah.
Oh, okay, you saw that in the theater? Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's never seen it in the theater, so
no. I've seen it, many times on Blu-ray, but not on the theater.
And it was nice to have Rob Zombie's little, commentary in the beginning.
Intro, yeah.
Oh, there was right, because that's what they do with Fathom. Yep.
Yeah.
I think I mean, there was a Ridley Scott. I saw Alien in the theater. He introduced that, and then I think when I saw Alien Romulus, which was not a special event, I was, I think there was an interview with Ridley Scott and Fede Alvarez. Maybe I saw that on YouTube. I'm not really sure, but those events are very cool.
Yes.
And it is a shared experience there because you're with people that, like when we went to go see House of a Thousand Corpses at a Fathom event, all the people that were there, no matter how kind of good or bad you feel about that movie, because it's very divisive, all the people that were there were fans of it because they had their Spalding shirts on and they, were dressed up or whatever. And it was kind of this event where you got to have that experience with other people that are like-minded. Like when
we saw The Room.
we saw The Room. People throwing spoons at the at the screen.
It was fun.
It was a good time, but it was just that it was a shared experience. So even though you don't have that in the traditional format of network television, there's other ways to get that same shared experience.
Yeah. And I feel like all of us at a certain age, right, are now seeing all these things coming back, and they're like the 20th anniversary, the 30th anniversary. So we kind of get to relive it all over again. And that's also
the 50th anniversary of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre just happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Time Warp movie.
Oh, the Rocky Horror
Picture Show.
I was going to say 100 years for Nosferatu.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. That's, eventually, in a while, it's going to start to be, for at least the ones in the late 20s and early 30s. I mean, Universal, man, if they better be thinking about the 100th year anniversary of Dracula ahead of time. They could, that's got to be like huge. And Frankenstein, all those movies. It's got to be huge. Fast. Yeah, it's going to come up fast. Yeah. Hobbs is not doing the midnight hour tonight, but he's just hanging out with us. He says, I can't even imagine seeing Alien in the theater for the first time. I would have freaked out. Yeah. I saw it on TV for the first time, and I knew about the scene ahead of time. It still freaked me out. Right. But seeing it in the theater, you wouldn't think you would notice anything new, but some of the details on the ship, I knew stuff that I'd never seen before.
It's an experience.
Oh yeah,
definitely a different experience seeing it on the big screen. Some of that stuff,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. As far as 50th anniversaries, my brother and I saw Enter the Dragon in the theater. That was pretty cool.
That would have been cool.
It was definitely cool. And there must have been some kind of karma, because I walked into FYE ahead of time. I got Donnie Yen movie, and then a compilation of 4 movies. So I go up to the counter, and she's like looking at it. She goes, it was like a weird number. Like, that'll be 238. I was like, huh? She's like, that's what it says. I was like, okay, fine, no problem.
Okay.
I just got 5 movies for whatever, 238. Sure. And I got to see the Dragon. It was a pretty good day for Kung Fu, I guess. And David Diggs is in the chat. David is a big fan of vinyl, and he's a big vinyl guy. And he's a big movie fan, and he's also doing the Top 3 Thursdays with us.
Cool.
And his editing skills are
top notch. Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess it's just as far as how you just got to like make your own thing. That's what I'm going to try to do this year with my granddaughters in Philadelphia. Even walking around, like walking her home from school today. They just what people do with their little stoops. Is very creative, you got a little bit of space. So it's like, let me see if I can get creative here, know? Yeah. I actually wanted to, because when we walked home, everything that was would light up was lit up, all the solar lights and everything else. And so I got one of the, next time I'm over there, I got to say, hey, after dinner, let's go for a walk around the block in the dark, a little pre-Halloween, walk around the neighborhood. I used to take early morning walks sometimes, and people would still have their stuff on from the night before. That was like a good way to sort of get a sneak preview of what was around the block. And then, like I said, unfortunately, like I would take my son around, and there wasn't much action as far as trick-or-treating or candy. Yeah. But how many things do you guys have in your house now that are pumpkin spice?
I actually only had one thing. I had like a pumpkin spice creamer, I think, for like a second. I mean, I have pumpkin spice scented things, but that's like literally a year-round thing, because it reminds me of fall. So like I stock up on the hand sanitizer, and like I have a candle right next to me, I guess, that's like pumpkin spice.
Okay.
Scent, but
I mean, it's like for us, it's literally like 24/7 all year round. There's Halloween things in the house that are up.
We have masks hanging on the wall, and it's
just that once June, July, well, I guess in this case for the decorations to start, September or so, when it feels like the rest of the world is joining in finally, because everybody's always like, oh, what do you guys got planned? And we're like, we're just going to enjoy the fact that everybody else doesn't think we're weird anymore.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
All the stores have Halloween displays. There's billboards up.
I can wear all of my outfits, and people don't go like,
They're like, oh, you ready for Halloween? You're like, this is just how I dress.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So it makes us feel a little less othered, but not that we care one way or the other. It's just what we love, and that's how we met. But
I like it. People know, like, I like Halloween, and so they're, anytime somebody sees something Halloween themed, skeleton, pumpkin, whatever, they're always like, oh, I should have bought that for you. I'm like, go ahead if you want.
Right. Yeah,
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
Let me show you this. My daughter got this from Mexico.
Hey, Kenny's Movie Palace.
And Horror Cat Dad.
Oh, Horror Cat Dad.
Get all the detail.
Oh, cool.
That's from Mexico. So
that's cool.
It's kind of cool when, like I said, she's a big scaredy cat. They don't really get it, but they've got me some really cool stuff.
Because they know
they know I'm into it. This horror movie posters book.
Oh,
John Landis.
Posters. Really good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You need one of those.
That is kind of cool. But you're right. When people know that you're like really into something,
it's easy to buy for you.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right. We got Horror Cat Dad is in here. I'm going to put his channel up. I'm going to be with him on his channel Saturday night. We're going to be talking about some figures. I actually just told him I found 3 really cool figures at Ross for a good deal. Wow. And then he's actually going to be on with Kenny. Kenny's Movie Palace is in the chat.
Hi, Kenny.
On his Tuesday night show, Talking Movies with Kenny, Sean, and Jim. So I was actually on with them last time. We were talking about horror movies pre-Exorcist. So pretty all-encompassing topic, but we always have a good time. So let me just...
I like that.
I've got his banner up still here from the last time. There he is. Yeah, speaking of Creature from the Black Lagoon, he's a huge Creature from the Black Lagoon fan. We've done streams about it, and I do have the hand. I was curious because the hand that you showed, the fossil hand, it was like the whole forearm, right? And I was like, I don't remember that, but this is what the one that I got looks like. I don't know. I'm not gonna see this. So it's like I said, I saw it in the package, and I forgot that part of the movie too, that they found a fossil hand, and I was like, "Why is the face hugger from Alien?" I didn't know what it was, but there actually is a little bit of forearm on there. So
nice.
Yeah, I guess
I gotta rewatch it. I guess.
Yeah,
because I don't remember that. Yeah,
it's just a quick scene where they find the fossil hand and kind of connects it to the creature. I haven't watched it in about 6 months, so I'm due. So I love that movie. Have you guys ever stumbled on any like fun things to do just randomly, or like any places to go, or have you ever just like whipped up any decorations that you like kind of patted yourself on the back about?
I mean, with what we do with our, our side business, we're always trying to come up with creative, ways to kind of take what we love and turn it into art in some way. But, every time we go somewhere, one of the first things we do is we do searches for oddity shops, things that are horror themed or whatever, and try and find them. And it's pretty amazing. Like anywhere you go, it doesn't matter how big or small the town is. Like where we're going for our honeymoon, anniversary. It's a little small touristy town, but they've got a shop there called Darkness Lovely that sells creepy artwork and witchy stuff and all year round. And they know our friends that run Wolf Hollow here in Rockford.
They do ghost tours all year round too. And we're actually that's where we're going on our little trip. We're gonna go to Galena and go on one of the haunted tours together. So that'll be fun.
But there's always something everywhere you go. I mean, we've always been able to find somewhere that kind of is fits into that niche part of what we love. And I mean, we have a lot of other things we enjoy too, but
like our honeymoon, we actually it was right after Halloween. So we went to Gettysburg. I almost said Galena again. We went to Gettysburg. And I was just so random. I'm like, let's go here, and let's go to Gettysburg, and it's spooky there. There's like a ton of spooky stuff there. It's
I've heard, yeah.
Yes.
It's very haunted.
Yeah.
Very haunted.
Yeah.
I see the signs for it when I take my son to college. I've thought of about 5 things that we should do in conjunction with me taking him out there. He's on his last year, so we're running out of time, but we did see the Living Dead Mall at Monroeville Mall. So
yeah, we went there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you've been there? That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
I've been there a couple times, and hadn't been to the Living Dead Museum until this year with her. And I know,
year.
When we went on our honeymoon, sorry.
Yeah.
But no, even though it was incredibly small, like the size of it, we spent a couple hours in there, and I probably could have spent the whole day if she would have let me. I mean, she didn't tell me I had to go, but if we would have had more time, just
it was fun.
Yeah.
He's like, this is my Mecca.
Yeah, I can't believe I he's a senior this year. It took me this long. Like I'm pretty sure, like if I'll pop in there again, just to basically support the museum, even if I'm only there for half an hour. It's like you said, it's just so much fun. It's you walk in and the radio starts playing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so
all the signatures on the wall, and you've got the big chunk of the Evil Dead cabin and some of the original escalator from the film, and that's probably arguably my favorite horror film of all time is 78 Dawn of the Dead. And so that, like she said, it's my Mecca. I went there back in 99 was the first time. That's before the museum had opened. And I just went around taking pictures of all the spots where they had filmed the movie. And the guy that was with me was like, what are you doing? Like, what? I don't understand. He wasn't familiar. And so when we went back, it had changed more, but we could still go find those spots. Plus we had the museum and the George Romero bust, which if I could have taken it with me, I would have. But
yeah, because that's downstairs. So if you go, you got to go down and get a picture with that. I have a picture of it. Like, why didn't I have my son take a picture of me with?
Yeah, I think I took a picture of you with it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why. But and somebody, let's say, Larry Hardcat Dad says, I still need to go before Walmart does it dirty.
That's for sure.
So I asked the woman that was working there about that whole situation, and she said that some of the big stores had leases for another 2 years. That's what she said. And the museum itself, I think she said it had a lease for another year, but those big stores had leases for another 2 years. So it wouldn't be, it's not going to be easy for Walmart to just, decide that, hey, we're going to bulldoze it next week. That's not going to happen. My thing is, even when that happens, somebody has to be thinking ahead, right? They're going to move the museum somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So instead of save the mall, it's more like save the museum, I think.
Exactly.
Beyond. You got to get the bust of Romero and all the museum. And I don't know, I'm sure there's, other places that it's like you said, it's not that big. It's really pretty small. I mean, there's
if memory serves me, before it moved into Monroeville Mall, I thought it was in a separate strip mall, like small space in a strip mall originally, because I'd wanted to go there prior to us meeting. And then, they had moved it to the mall, which made more sense, of course. But I don't know what I'm more upset about, the potential of losing the museum or losing the mall,
Well, anytime another mall goes down, it's sad, it's just a sad thing,
They can't take away the Zelienople cemetery where they filmed Night of the Living Dead. So I guess, there's always that.
Right. Yeah. Unless the real estate developers from Poltergeist come in and,
put a
little community there,
Be a good trick-or-treating neighborhood there.
Yeah, you would. You'd be pretty lively, probably. Yeah, so that's something I'll be trying to keep abreast of. I mean, there's got to be some kind of plans in motion.
I'm sure.
For sure.
Yeah. Larry the Hardcat Dad says 78 Dawn is tied with the OG Night of the Living Dead as his favorite movie of all time. Yeah, I go back and forth. I don't really know. It's so hard for me to pick because they're different, but they're similar but different. You know what I mean? Like it's different feel, but also kind of the same feel. It's hard. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, but I really can't pick. I did show my son Night of the Living Dead, We have not watched Dawn of the Dead, and at the end of it, he just looked at me like, "Oh, this is not going to happen, right?" This last thing. And I was like, "I'm sorry," and then, and then what was it we finally watched where he was like, "So not everybody died in this movie," but
it happens sometimes. People live, you got to watch a Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah, sometimes people live, at least till the next movie. Oh yeah. Well, anyway, that project that I made when I found that I was subbing.
Oh yeah.
I decided I was going to make I was like, well, what do I have? I decided I was going to make a hat. And I think I had a couple hats, and I was going to like put stuff on them on the brim. But then I said, well, why don't I make like a top hat? So I took and I almost wish I didn't do this, and I don't know where it is today, but I took one of the glow in the dark Dunkin' Donuts buckets. And that was the base of the top hat. And then I made a foam brim, and I guess I put like foam around it. And then I decided to the top was like open, and there was like a spider coming out of it.
Oh.
It was like orange and black because this was elementary school, so
Sure.
It was great. It was kind of cheerful. And I had this guy sitting on the brim.
Cute.
And I think I had a hammer, like a toy hammer with me, because when you throw it, although I'll throw it in a second, but I threw it in a video, which I have not finished editing yet, and it laughed for about half a second and stopped. It's supposed to laugh, pause, and then laugh. But this was on the brim, and I set it off a few times, and I had all kinds of skeletons glued on there, I guess. And then I had like I think it was like a blazer. I think it was wool. And I put spider webs all over it, and it kind of stuck to it, did a pretty good job of like sticking to it. And then I had musical ties. They used to sell musical ties at Dollar Tree back in the day with different designs. Yeah. So every once in a while I would like lean over and the button would activate and the kids would look at me, but it was Halloween. It was supposed to be fun. Anyway, let me give it a shot. This might not work. Okay. Never.
I'm getting a Mr. Crockett vibe though with that description. That sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah.
That outfit sounds like it could be pretty terrifying in the right context.
Right. You could.
With the hammer and the laughing and the keyboard tie piano thing and the little skeleton.
Yeah.
I think you got something there.
Yeah, but I was going to try to see if I could sort of recreate that with a less painful. Probably start with like an actual top hat and go from there rather than have a Dunkin' Donuts bucket on my head.
Right.
Yeah. Now that you're talking about like costumes and stuff, the one costume that I really liked that I did for work was I was a mad scientist, but I was a mad scientist for like tiny pets or something like that. And so I had my hair like huge, and I had rats in it. And then I had this like little tiny dog that you could get from like McDonald's, like in a toy. Like, it was like a stuffed animal. I had him like pinned in my pocket, and he was like my little like helper or whatever. And I had my makeup kind of crazy. I bought like a doctor's coat. And so I was wearing like this big lab coat, and like, yeah, that was probably my favorite costume that I did. It was so hard to get my hair not to be knotted though. Like, it took me forever to brush it out.
That's cool. I
lost mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you lost your hair.
Yeah.
All those hair dyes and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's cool when you have like a costume for a specific type of costume for work or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's just like, everybody was dressing up for Halloween. So like I was a credit counselor, so we were just sitting in our office or whatever, and they're like, we should dress up for Halloween. And I remember I had like a doctor's coat, and so it just kind of all came together, and I was like a mad scientist for tiny dogs. I just remember it was like tiny dogs.
Well, that brings up a memory when I was in college, my freshman year of college, had just gone away from home, 18 or 19 years old. And they were having a Halloween dance, and I didn't have any money, didn't have a costume. So I just started going through my clothes in the closet. And of course it's the early 90s. So grunge is a thing. And so I had a lot of plaid and stripes and, things. So I put together an outfit of stripes and plaids and everything that just didn't go together. So there's a lot of crazy patterns. And then I made a little sign that I stuck to my chest with Scotch tape that said "Vertical Hold Man." And I went to the dance and everybody got a good laugh. Hopefully at the costume, not at my expense. But who knows?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the homemade costumes were cool back then. You ever seen any of those videos from like the 50s when people had giant heads and bags? Those are a little like borderline creepy. So
creepy. Yeah, like weird little like eye holes cut out. Like,
it was never nothing ever matched up the way it should have. Just
the further back you go, the more terrifying it is.
Yes, they just had like burlap sacks on their head, and like they were like children of the corn, like really children of the corn.
Yeah, there wasn't really anything scary about wearing a $6 million man costume with a picture of the $6 million man on the chest part.
Yeah,
right.
That used to drive my mom crazy. She was like, "Why would they do that?"
I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to be Michael Jackson, so I dressed up. And I had like, it didn't even look like anything to do with. I think I had like a little jean jacket on, and like I have a picture of me like dressed up like
with a jean jacket,
Michael Jackson, and I just had like a hat like his on, and that's who I was. I was Michael Jackson.
Were you Brian Johnson from AC/DC?
Right.
That's more what it sounded like.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Well, speaking of those masks that cut into your face and cause permanent scars, I just watched a documentary on Ben Cooper. Speaking of the smocks with the plastic masks, and
I had those too.
Yeah, if you ever want to take a trip down memory lane for the kids of us like us that grew up in the 70s and 80s, it's a fascinating documentary. It's not the best thing, it could have been on YouTube, but it is interesting. So just a sidebar.
Yeah, the one. So I have a video. I'm trying to get it ready. I guess I should have known better, but it turned out to be like half an hour long, and it's my top 11 Halloween TV episodes.
Oh, nice.
But I put little clips in there, so it got copyrighted into oblivion. So, but I talk about the clip, so I really have to go back and re-edit it. But one of them was because I was you conflate these things in your head, right? Like, was that a Halloween episode?
Yeah.
Or not? Especially for long running series, But anyway, the Brady Bunch, the Halloween one is called Fright Night. That's just with pranks. The one I was thinking of with the Ben Cooper masks is called Slumber Pranks or something. That's when they have friends over. The girls have their friends over and it's a slumber party, but they all, the boys are wearing Ben Cooper masks.
I don't remember that episode.
That's funny.
It's called Slumber something. So that it wasn't a Halloween one. That was not in October, but it does feature those masks. And I think Bobby is wearing like a little creature from the Black Lagoon mask. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's funny.
I'll have to go look that up because I do not remember that episode. And I watched a lot of the Brady Bunch.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. We all did. Yep. That one. And then I think the Gilligan's Island one called Ghost a Go-Go. I think that was shown in October. So that, I don't know if they don't talk about Halloween. Turned out to be Richard Keel in the Ghost in the sheet, but his voice is dubbed.
Oh.
He's like a Russian spy, but he's wearing a ghost sheet. That one kind of actually scared me a little bit when I was a kid. Something about the movement of the ghost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Richard Keel is pretty terrifying if you don't know better.
Right.
I agree with Kenny there in the comments where he says Roseanne did have the best Halloween shows, like hands down.
They were good.
I loved them. They were so good.
They were good.
They were always trying to out prank each other and stuff.
Yes.
It was so funny.
What, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah.
Those were some crazy.
They were always
that's more current.
They were always outdoing, and Roseanne was always like the winner of.
I don't remember. I know that was a favorite of yours.
Yeah, The Simpsons too. Yeah.
Some of those were great, especially if you really like whatever they were referencing.
Right.
Yes.
I like my son. The Twilight Zone one with the little people. He's seen the episode, but we haven't watched The Simpsons yet. So, we have to do that as soon as possible. Oh, that's right. Hardcat Dad says that he's got some NECA figures with the band. So they're like trick-or-treaters, I think, with the band. Did you guys have some of those?
We do. We have like the Frankenstein one.
We have Frankenstein, Captain Spaulding, and then she's got a Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay. I'd like to get the Leatherface and the Alien. They also have an Art the Clown, but I haven't seen him in the wild yet. So
okay, yeah.
But yeah, there's a huge line of Ben Cooper figures.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
with the original ones, and then they've been doing ones that are inspired by
the
ones of the superheroes, like the Batman and Superman ones and stuff like that too. But yeah, no Chucky yet, man.
No Chucky. Yeah.
I'm sure it's coming though.
Have you seen any of the clips of Child's Play in different languages?
No.
To hear Chucky like start yelling in different languages is pretty interesting. Because just some of the choices they make with deep voices, higher voices. It's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
It's interesting. Yeah. I'm actually due for a rewatch on the original one. I watched a bunch of the sequels recently. Larry says he wants the Predator one. In Spanish is hilarious. Yeah, I've seen that one. Chucky Spanish is hilarious. Yep.
We're still sad that the Chucky series got canceled because that was getting better and better.
I really liked it.
Really?
Your dog is being weird.
Here comes Shaggy.
Oh, here he is.
He got spooked by something. And
I know something fell over and he like went running.
Mm-hmm.
So now he wants to be safe, I guess.
Yeah, I was trying to explain. I tutor a student who is he's an ESL student. English is a second language. I was trying to explain the word Shaggy the other day. He's not from here, and so I don't think he knows what Scooby-Doo is. Even though if I pointed to a picture of Shaggy, I don't know how would that help you.
Right.
It still wouldn't help you.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was like, I don't have a reference for this. Yeah. Tell me about it. The kills were amazing in the show. Yeah.
They were crazy over the top.
Yeah.
Really?
It was so good.
Huh. That's a
shame.
shame.
Died way too soon. Don Mancini was all in on that. And he's been at the helm the entire run from day one through all the movies and everything. And
they were great.
Yeah. It was just getting really interesting. And then they're like, nope, sorry, no more. I think it was just too expensive, probably. Like,
probably.
The Ash versus Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a really expensive show, I think, is part of it. But yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about this year? You guys planning on watching anything special?
Joe Bob. I mean, we've been watching Joe Bob.
Mm-hmm.
That's like our main thing. And then
we usually try to get through some of the Halloween movies.
And we like the baking things too, like the Halloween baking championship, which we're pretty much caught up on, and like the Halloween Wars. We always watch those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But every year the tradition used to be I used to watch Sleepy Hollow, the 1999 Tim Burton, every year on Halloween. That was kind of the thing. But we always watch the David S. Pumpkins animated special with my kids. That's their Charlie Brown. And then every year on Halloween night, I always have to watch, and I know this is probably going to get me some hate, but Rob Zombie's Halloween 2007 and then Halloween 2 from 2009 back to back. 4 hours of Rob Zombie's Halloween, because we start off the year with the 78 John Carpenter. That's how the first thing we watch every year. And we end it with the Rob Zombie version.
Okay, cool. Does it bother you a little? So the second one takes place the day after, right? So it's November 1st, isn't it? Like the whole day?
Yes.
Well, it starts off with Laurie going to the hospital after the events of the first film, and then you jump forward a year or 2 years, depending on if you're watching the unrated or the rated version.
Oh, okay.
One of them is a year, or the other one is 2 years, and it's her going through,
Trauma.
PTSD and everything. And Michael's been wandering the countryside as a hobo, just kind of trying to survive, and then he makes his way back to Haddonfield, and then everything starts up again, and all hell breaks loose. And depending on the ending, in one ending he says die, and the other ending he doesn't say anything.
Yep.
They're very different. Every year we watch one or the other. So it's either the unrated year or it's the rated year, depending.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I just remembered her waking up the next day and thinking, what, the whole movie takes place on November 1st? Like,
No.
Something sacrilegious about that. Even though, if you really go back and look at what dates certain Halloween specials premiered, some of them did actually premiere on November 1st. Some of the Treehouse of Horrors and so forth,
Well, and if you think about the John Carpenter Halloween 2, that does take
That's
place
true.
The next day in the hospital,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So that serves me right.
It's still a Day of the Dead.
That's true. And we're a Rob Zombie household, so
it's true. It is Day of the Dead. Harry watches the Headless Horseman animated film, Trick or Treat,
so good.
Halloween, The Fog.
Oh yeah, Trick or Treat.
Jason 7, Nightmare 3, or Freddy vs. Jason. Yep. And Kenny said the most recent Joe Bob watching The Spider was really cool with the drive-in snippets. That's funny. It's like we're talking about we're losing our cohesiveness or whatever. I've actually never watched a Joe Bob special on Shudder live, and I'm thinking what? Why not?
Joel.
So hey, I guess it's on me, and
you could join us and have a shared experience.
Yes, we will. I will. Well, I will do that, especially considering that this month I've been, doing a whole series about horror hosts and movies and things like that.
We love Joe Bob.
Yeah, and I love Joe Bob. That was, back when I lived in, we lived in an apartment at the time. My kids were younger; they would go to bed. I would have a couple hours there, and so I would watch Joe Bob doing The Fly, even though it was edited, just to hear, just because he's Joe Bob, and just to see him interview people like John Waters. It was great stuff, Yeah, but
I love John Waters too. So
yeah, I really need to get on that. I've been watching a lot of old episodes of Creature Features, and I got some physical copies of some of the Elvira double features.
Cool.
The Mummy and the Monkey actually mentioned me on their show because I reviewed their Halloween special, which I got on physical media.
Man needs to watch.
Speaking of physical media, that I just got in the mail today, the very first official Joe Bob Shudder release, which is it's a twofer of Mayhem and Suitable Flesh, because they're both, Joe Lynch films. And so it's the interview stuff along with each of the films. And it was like $12.
Oh, okay. So they're doing that. That never occurred to me.
It's got the drive-in totals on the interior sleeve behind each of the movies, because you have 2 discs.
Okay.
And it's the first. I mean, he's been doing them on his Patreon, which I'm a Patreon member. But if you're on the Patreon and you're at a certain tier, they'll send you discs that they've made. But it's pretty costly. But this is the first time they've done an official release.
So okay.
Yeah. For Joel's 50th birthday, I had Joe Bob do a cameo thing for him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And he went on for about 5 minutes.
He was like, "Oh, your birthday's in September 3rd or whatever," and he started going off about.
He said 74 is the
that's what it was. Yeah,
like the holiest of years for horror, and he went off and he rattled off all the films and talked about the importance. And of course, that's when Chainsaw Massacre came out, which is like his top tier. He's written, basically books about the film. That's his thing. So
yeah, that's cool. Now Larry, the Horror Cat Dad, he had a cameo from somebody really just a well-respected person in the horror universe. Oh, it was funny. And I think it was because he used to do something with a guy named Don from Night Owl. Since I'm on doing a live, I can't remember the title of his YouTube channel, but Don from Night Owl Movies. And they got a cameo from, I can't remember his name, the dentist from Troll 2.
Oh.
The guy, the main actor in Troll 2, who was a dentist in real life.
You Can't Piss on Hospitality?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
I cannot think of his name. All of a sudden, I've seen that movie and Best Worst movie several times.
Yeah, I've seen it several times, too. That's one of my favorite documentaries.
Oh.
Tell me what you did for me.
What?
George Hardy. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, and to flip it, before she did that, on our anniversary, I got her a cameo from Felissa Rose, because when we first started dating, I asked her what her favorite horror movie was, and it's really Halloween '78, but she said it was Sleepaway Camp, which, of course, any woman that you're interested in dating, and the first thing you ask them is what's their favorite horror movie, and it's not like the atypical, the thing everybody else says, you're going to be like, oh, Sleepaway Camp, interesting choice.
Yeah, I said what it was one of my favorites. It was one of
Yep. So yeah, she was so incredibly sweet.
Felissa Rose was awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she seems like she is. Night Owl movie talk. I'm sorry. Yeah. That I love that in The Exorcist 3. I like when they, at the end of The Exorcist, they're like, hey, you want to go to see a movie sometime? Well, of course they become friends, and he says, do you have a favorite picture, Father? So there's a priest, and he goes, The Fly. And it's just so unexpected. Like, okay.
Hey, that's a good choice. Any of them, the remake or the original?
Yeah. I'm taking it the character was talking about the original.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's talking about the Vincent Price film where he's not necessarily the lead.
Yeah.
Per se.
Yeah. I remember the return of The Fly being on TV more than The Fly. That's what it seemed to me.
It's probably easier to get the rights to it, is my guess.
That could have been it. Maybe, yeah. But that one, you do have more Vincent Price in that one. That's yes. So that's always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which we just heard somebody refer to one of my favorite actors, David Dastmalchian, as the modern day Vincent Price. And
I was like, so awesome.
Okay, so I've been doing the horror host review. So I reviewed the Dr. Gangrene and Penny Dreadful Halloween special. And he's been doing a thing all month called Ghost Hosts, where he reviews movies that have had horror hosts in them. So this morning, he did Late Night with the Devil.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got to check that video out because he talked about the comic that he was involved in and his horror host character that he did, which I've never seen any clips of or anything like that. So now I'm like totally intrigued by that now. Definitely got to check that out.
Yeah.
And the other thing.
He is for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'd heard that, but I haven't really seen any clips or anything like that. So I was like, wow, I'm like totally intrigued by that. And the other thing that I found out from him, and I know Kenny's in the chat. Kenny and I grew up watching the same channels. He lived in South Jersey. Now he lives in Philly. I live in South Jersey. I didn't know that. I'm gonna forget his name because I'm doing a live.
Okay.
Who played Grandpa Munster in Rob Zombie's Monsters?
Daniel Roebuck?
Yeah.
Daniel Roebuck. Daniel Roebuck did a character named Dr. Shocker, who was a tribute to Philadelphia's Dr. Shock.
Oh.
He actually did like a combination horror hosting thing and spook show. Like the old spook shows, but it was like a kind of, like a PG spook show. It wasn't like bloody limbs and everything like that. And it's on YouTube, and he does magic tricks, and his makeup is, kind of similar to Dr. Shock. And everything. Very cool. I didn't know that at all. It's cool to see a lot of these actors really like totally embrace, not just say, hey, this is a role, but it's like the whole sort of lifestyle, the history of it and everything. That is awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Russell is in the chat. Hey, Russell, how are you doing? Yeah, Kenny, you got to check that out. Daniel Roebuck, Dr. Shocker on YouTube. There's his spook show. It's in 3 parts on YouTube. And I didn't know he's from the Philadelphia area.
Yeah.
That's cool. And he, it's a tribute to Dr. Shock, which is awesome. And you mentioned, what was the name of the horror host you grew up with again, Joel?
Cremation Mortem, which the Count Crowley character that David Dastmalchian's comic is about is based on her, because he's friends with Roberta Solomon, who was the actress who played her on TV, and because he's from Kansas City also.
Oh,
and
okay.
We're close in age, so we grew up at the same time, and so that's a shared experience with he and I. And his character, if you've ever I've seen him do that character as horror host, and he's got like the Nosferatu fangs that are just the 2 little ones in front that come way down too far with the widow's peak, and he has a very affected accent, and
Yeah.
it's very over the top and goofy, but it fits in perfectly with all the other horror hosts.
Yeah. Dr. Gangrene just showed like a quick clip of it that I was like, wow, had no idea he did that character. Kenny says Daniel Roebuck is from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. That makes sense. Cool. All right. Well, I don't want to, keep you guys too much longer, but this was pretty much fun. I think we saved Halloween.
I agree. Like Halloween's never been gone. Like
it never has. I know it never really has. But really, I think one thing that you mentioned, Laura, depending on what day of the week it is, depending on a lot of factors, you could have a great, and thinking back to the way it dropped off in my neighborhood from one year to the next, who knows? Maybe next year on your block, it'll be awesome. You never really know.
The one thing I want to say too about that is I'm glad you're doing stuff with your grandkids and like, making sure that they're like having that experience, because, I work for a garden, and I was just at a convention and they were talking about the if you don't get them while they're young to come to the garden, they're not going to want to come back when they're adults because they don't have a connection to it. So it's the same kind of thing. I think you just have to get them while they're young and at least get them interested and make those core memories. Yeah. So that way, like, maybe a lot of those houses that are, no lights out there, maybe they didn't have that same, thing when they were kids. Like their parents didn't really do much, it's good that you're continuing the tradition, and like, hopefully that'll translate into future generations and also doing the same stuff.
Yeah. So do you guys have anything coming up on the channel, or just your the same sort of schedule that you follow year round?
The schedule is pretty much the same. We are doing currently our Horrors of Halloween, which is, we're doing 4 weeks of Halloween specifically themed movies that we found on Tubi. So instead of ones that we found in the wild, we're looking for ones that everybody can enjoy or not enjoy. And then this year for Christmas, we're doing the Horrors of Christmas, which instead of doing Christmas horror movies, we're subjecting ourselves to Hallmark TLC type,
which we like,
Christmas movies. So to change it up, we're
being funny.
Yeah, we're being ironic with it.
Yes.
But, I've already got the movies picked out, and I'm hoping that they're a little better than the ones I curated for this Halloween season. But I didn't do a lot of research because part of the charm of the channel is we're just going to it blind. So.
We've had like one like good one, and then like 2 misses. Like this last one we watched is just.
I mean, what you want at the end of your bad horror movie is the writer director rapping about the bad horror movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened
for about 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
But we can sing you the song. No, we're not going to.
No, we're not going to sing this song.
It's living in our head rent free. So. Yeah. You'll find out next week, Wednesday night.
Okay, cool. We'll definitely look forward to that. And Kenny says when he moved to South Jersey, Mom bought 10 pounds of candy. When we came home, we had one trick or treater. This was 1980. Mom enjoyed it because she had tons of candy to eat. Yeah.
See? And that's 1980. So like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were having off years back then.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure. All right. Well, I'm definitely going to try to check out a Joe Bob live stream before.
Let us know, and then we can be like, we're having a shared experience.
Yes, we'll all share the experience. Mayanne said she's never seen one. We'll have to get her.
Yes, please join,
He's
Mayanne.
got 2 more. Wait, he just did the AMC special, and then he had one at the beginning, and he's got another one coming up next weekend, I believe, Friday night.
It's always on Friday night.
8:00 Central Time, 9:00 Eastern, and it's usually lasts for about 5 hours. So buckle up if you're gonna commit.
Right. Okay, awesome. Well, this was awesome. I really appreciate you guys stopping by, and
thanks for having us.
Chit chat. All right, guys, and I appreciate everybody coming out and making comments in the comments section. And make sure you guys check out the Newlydeads channel, and I will see you guys again almost every day this month. So.
All right. Happy Halloween.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.